Okay, so students, what have we studied about slopes in the first two sessions? Okay, so let us do a quick summary and one new result. Okay, so what did we study? First, we studied that what is the formula for slopes. So we talked about that. So what is the formula? What is the formula for slopes? Slope, what is that? Y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is slope. Okay, and that was also equal to tan of theta that we studied. Okay, then second, what was the second property we studied? क्या था second property? If you can tell me, if you can recollect. Okay, second property क्या था कि अगर if I want the slope of x axis, slope of x axis कितना था? 0, and slope of a line parallel to x axis वो भी 0 था. Slope of a line parallel to x axis, that was also 0. तो ये दोनों भी रिजल्ट क्या आ रहा था? 0 था. ओके, थर्ड क्या देखा था बोलो मुझे आप? स्लोप ऑफ y axis है कि नहीं? थर्ड रिजल्ट वाज स्लोप ऑफ y axis. बोलिए मुझे, what was slope of y axis? It was not defined. शॉर्टकट लिख रहा हूँ, nd means not defined for this part. And what other thing? Slope of line parallel to y-axis, parallel to y-axis, ये भी not defined था. तो दोनों के लिए we were having the slope as not defined. Okay, so today let me discuss a new property. See, what do we mean by slope of x-axis and a line parallel to x-axis? So if I want to draw that part here, can I just quickly draw it? Let me try to draw it. This is the x-axis and this is a line which is parallel to x-axis. Okay, then here what we had for this thing, this is the y-axis, and now suppose that this is the line which is parallel to y-axis. ऐसा था. तो ये हमने दो रिजल्ट्स पढ़े थे. तो क्या नोटिस किया कि x-axis and parallel to x-axis, तो slopes were same. वैसे ही y-axis and a line parallel to y-axis, so what happened? Slopes were same, right? So that means that if we have a line, or if we have two lines which are parallel to each other, so if we have two lines which are parallel to each other, their slopes should be same, right? So we are not proving that, we are assuming this property directly, that if we have two lines, parallel to each other, and what happens to their slopes? Their slopes are equal. Then their slopes are equal or same. So if we have two lines parallel to each other, so what do we mean by that? Two lines parallel to each other. I will try to draw it here. Okay. So suppose that we have two lines like this. There is a line like this and another is like this. What happens here? Suppose this is L and this is M. I can say that L is parallel to M. L is parallel to M. Okay, so their slopes are equal. What do I mean by their slopes are equal? That means m1 equal to m2. m1 मैंने लाइन L का स्लोप पकड़ा, so let the slope of line L be m1, let the slope of line be m2, तो दोनों का slopes equal आएगा. तो what is the main thing, if the lines are parallel, if the lines are parallel then the slopes are equal. Not necessarily two lines, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, any lines which are parallel to each other, then always their slopes will be equal or same. Remember that. Okay, let me just have one or two more points to discuss here. Two, for the sake of completion, let us just discuss one or two points. Fifth point. Okay, let me take something else. Fifth point. Okay. So what if I draw a line like this? So I have one line which is like this, okay, and it makes some angle here, and I have another which goes like this. It again makes an angle. So this is say theta 1, and suppose this angle is theta 2. Now pay attention, okay. Of course this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. तो है assume किया हमने. अब क्या हो जाएगा? Now note that in this case, for the line which makes an angle theta 1, suppose I call it as L and I call this as M. So for line L, slope equal to tan theta 1. Remember there was one formula was tan theta 1 for slope, right? Here we can use that formula because we know only the angle, we don't know the coordinates, right? So be attentive, right? So if we know the angle, I can find the slope like this, tan theta 1, that's it. It will be positive here. Okay, now why it will be positive? Because theta 1 is acute. Theta 1 is acute angle. I hope you know what is acute angle, less than 90. Okay, now so what about line M? So what about line M now? For line M, slope will be what now? Tan theta 2. But that will be negative. Remember that. That value of slope will be negative. And we can see that here theta 2 is obtuse. So whenever the theta is acute and obtuse, we get positive and negative values of slope. Theta is acute, we get a. Now remember, what is that theta? How do you measure that theta? That is also significant. That is a convention, by the way. Right? थीटा कन्वेंशन मतलब कि हमने डिसाइड किया कि हम थीटा इस तरह से मेजर करेंगे, सबने डिसाइड किया हुआ पहले से, उसको बोलते हैं कन्वेंशन. कन्वेंशन क्या है कि थीटा शुड बी मेजर्ड इन द पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन ऑफ एक्स एक्सिस. थीटा कैसे मेजर करना है? कन्वेंशन है कि इट शुड बी मेजर्ड हाउ इन द पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन ऑफ द एक्स एक्सिस. तो ये जो मैंने एंगल मेजर किया ना थीटा 1, वो मैंने पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन में मेजर किया हुआ एक्स एक्सिस का, तो उस तरह से मेजर करते हैं उसको. ठीक है, सो थीटा शुड बी मेजर्ड with the positive direction of the x axis. So this is the thing. इससे क्या पता चले कि स्लोप पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है. स्लोप पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है डिपेंडिंग कि वो किस तरह का एंगल बनाता है. और भी और भी इंटरप्रिटेशंस है स्लोप के, बट आई थिंक वो हायर स्टैंडर्ड्स में आप लोग पढ़ेंगे. सो 10th के लिए मैं इतना ही फिलहाल. आई विल टेक द डिस्कशन फॉर स्लोप्स. देयर आर मोर lots of things, but we have to limit ourselves for 10th standard. Okay, so I hope you got this part. Okay, thank you then.